Welcome back to Quicks14Blog, continuing on with Nax Plague Quarter here, part 2, as we go through it. So now we've done our wipe, it's the real deal, I've got it down, as you can purely see, and I'm not the only one. All three healers, because we had 3 on this one, that's our first attempt, got it down, and we did just fine. Now, the safety dance is great, and the reason they call it safety dance, like I said before, there is an achievement that if you do the entire thing without anyone in the raid wiping, you get an achievement called Safety Dance. It's really not that hard of an achievement, you just need people who know what they're doing. We haven't gotten it yet, unfortunately, but I think we're getting closer and closer, and hopefully, now that we've actually finally cleared all of Nax, we'll be able to start going after those different achievements and everything. We have started some Old War progression. I know that's kind of off basis here, but we have, and I'm starting to get footage for that when I can. So after this is pretty much a DPS fight. He has no enrage timer. This is it. So you can take as long as you like to kill him. Theoretically, you could actually finish him off with 1 healer and 1 tank, if you did it well enough. Theoretically, it can be done. It's not a whole lot of fun. It takes a long time, but I think the thing you have to watch the most, especially for you healers and everything, you get so excited that you got the safety dance down and you're really happy about it. You need to remember to heal and pop heals, not only on yourself but on other people when you get back on that platform, because like I said, that AoE is still up there for a little bit and it hurts. So you really need to do that. What I do in order to help heal multiple melee that are around him, especially when they're doing the safety dance, I use Life Bloom. I use Wild Growth specifically on them to keep them healed up. I'll do rejuves, pop Life Blooms, and everything. When we're actually doing the safety dance, Wild Growth is my friend. I'll only pop Life Blooms and rejuves when absolutely necessary. There really is no time to stop and heal until you actually get it down so much that you actually have plenty of downtime. And if you do, probably Nourish is your only good bet. You definitely don't have enough time to actually do any regrowths here because of how fast things go. So yep, he's very close now. As you noticed, people who did die before did not release. This is good for a few reasons. One, if you release, you probably, it's a long walk back as it is, and you can't get back in until after the fight's over anyway. Also, it's important to note that especially if this is your first time and you have died from the dance, to go ahead, stay in your dead form and watch people doing the dance. Watch the wave patterns. Find something that works for you. It can get real frustrating for some people, and I know how that is. As you see here, we don't have a ton of DPS. In fact, I think the only DPS we have is Way, and then our tanks, and then all 3 healers. So you're seeing our other Restro Tree Druid here is popping out of tree to actually do TPS, and you'll see, I believe here at the end, I do the same. See, I took a little bit of damage there, I got a little too close, but I was able to heal through it. Obviously, having trees for the safety dance helps a lot, just because you get more likely people will survive through it, because lag's an issue for a lot of people, myself included. And when lag is a culprit, you can die. I know Way here, who is obviously got this down, has been having problems with his internet lag, and the last time we did it, he died. And I know he has it down, but so that's it. He's dead, he's down. What does he drop? Well, I didn't manage to record that, my apologies. I forgot to return recording back on because somebody accidentally got disconnected and had to come all the way back. So now we have the last boss of the Plague Quarter. This is a bitch for healers specifically. His name is Loktheb, which is basically Healbot jumbled. Yeah. He is really not that hard of a boss. He has ads that spawn. They're spores. These spores do damage bonus on top of people, unless you're really stacked together. But they also... they bring down your armor and things of this nature. They also take away your aggro. I know it's aggro, not armor. Excuse me, I'm sorry. It's aggro. It takes away your aggro, so you definitely don't want these spores exploding or being killed near the tanks unless they have a ton of aggro. Otherwise, you'll lose the boss, and chaos ensues. But they do boost your damage, so having them explode near the DPS and stuff like that helps a lot. Now, the real tricky part of this is he has this necrotic aura. This necrotic aura is a bitch. It is up for most of the fight, and it only comes down for about 3 or 4 seconds, give or take. Otherwise, it's up for most all the fight. This necrotic aura lasts for about 15 seconds. It's only down for 3 to 4, and it prevents all healing while it's up. Yes, all healing. Potions, band-aids, actual spells, everything. You cannot heal at all. That's what makes this fight so difficult, honestly. From a healer's perspective, it's a nightmare. Especially if you're a single target healer like actual paladins and things like that. But even for druids, this can be a real nightmare because you're used to stacking your hots and everything. We totally wipe here. This was our first time because I was not getting this down. I finally do have a system that seems to help quite a bit. Life Bloom is your friend here. It just comes down to timing on your heals. You just need to time them right. Having Life Bloom, since it lasts such a long time, I mean, you only need 1 stack. Forget the multiples unless you can do them. You don't care about the hot on that. What you want is the bloom. That will help. Regrowth helps, but you can usually, depending upon your lag, can usually get 1 off if you time it right, and that has to be right as it's about to drop. Maybe 2 if you time it just before then. Nourish is your best friend here, really, because it's so fast. Any haste rating that you might have for heals will help you here, but you need to time it right. So, elk buff bars helps a lot. Obviously, Bigwigs and Deadly Boss Mods also shows it, but Deadly Boss Mods isn't horribly accurate. Neither is Bigwigs on predicting when it will come up. So I've actually, since I've put my debuffs aside, I've actually been watching it and timing it based on that. Usually around halfway, around 7 or 8, is when I'll start getting ready to cast like Regrowth or something like that. Start casting, depending on how many people I need to put Life Blooms on. I'll start as early as 10 seconds left on the debuff, to anywhere from 5. That way they get the good chance of blooming while the aura is down. Tranquility, if you're going to pop it, make sure you pop it about, I'd say 3 seconds before the aura is going to come down with the 3 seconds on the debuff, and then pop it. Save it for near the end. That's when you're going to need it, because everyone's going to get these spore stacks on them, and it's going to do damage to everybody. So you want to save it for then. You can do it twice if you have the talent points and everything, because it's about 4 minutes cooldown. So if you want to use it early, you can. Just make sure you set it early enough. I'd say at least 3 to 4 seconds. That way you get the majority of the tranquility, since it lasts so long, and you don't waste too much. Like I said, your friend here is going to be Life Bloom and Nourish. Honestly, that seems to work the best here. It's going to take some practice to get this down as a healer. This is a bitch. As for tanking this, it's pretty straightforward. You have 1 tank in the middle tanking him, keeping aggro. You have an off tank taking care of the mobs as much as possible, trying to pull them towards the groups that you want, and then having them killed. DPS is going to mainly focus on the boss, sometimes switch to any spores that might be nearby if the off tank can't grab them, and things of that nature. Otherwise, this really comes down to a healer fight. Druid healers help here because of their hots, and like I said, we have some stuff here. If you are a single target healer, that helps too, because you can do some big heals real quick as long as you time them right with your cast times, especially your quick heals, paladins and their flash heal, obviously, priests as well. Shamans would be a huge help here with their raid heals. Their healing wave, since it's pretty much instant, they can do it as soon as it drops, and they can pretty much chain heal everyone, since everyone's pretty close together. Shamans would be a huge help here. Their totems as well, always up anyway. So yeah, Obviously, that's pretty much the way it goes with these guys. Otherwise, he's really not hard of a fight. I don't believe he has an enrage timer. I cannot recall. As you can see here, this was our first time doing it, and we didn't do too bad. Honestly, what happened was an OOM situation. We just ran out of mana, and we just could not keep people healed. And this is where, if you are a druid or healer and things like this, and you don't have great mana anyway, you really gotta watch it, because otherwise you're gonna find yourself in a world of trouble. And that's what happened with me. I used my mana pot, I used my nerve rate, I just ran out of mana, and that was it. It was over. So that's pretty much Lokeb first try wipe. Some more. We'll have the actual successful attempt, and you'll see how these seals go. So stay tuned. Part 3, last part of the play quarter, coming up right at you.